How's it, guys? So okay, today we're at the Elite Stockman Boran Stud Breeders Auction in Bloemfontein. Before I continue, let me quickly do my shout outs. Today's shout outs go out to Lolani Zwane, Zikode Farming, Katongo Maipambe, Mohammed Bashir, Emmanuel Engelbrecht, Mwaku Kietse, Saneliso Seku, Mazwi Kanyile, Kim Cult XRETV, Moffat Mteteleli, and Rob Munro. Guys, thank you so much for your support, and I hope you guys are keeping well. Anyway, so as I said, we're at the Boran auction today. We're hoping to pick up a few animals, and I must tell you, there are some really stunning specimens on offer. Unfortunately, I don't know much about the breeders, I don't know much about their backgrounds, but if you look at the animals, you can see there's definitely some good top class, good quality animals on offer. Now just quickly on the Boran, it is an indigenous species, or an indigenous breed at least. It hails from Kenya, Tanzania, Northeast Africa, where they were raised or bred predominantly on very sour grasses, or sour veld. Now what is a sour veld? For those who are international viewers, it's areas where you have high rainfall, poor leached out soils, and your grasses grow very quickly and become lignified very quickly. So these animals developed under tough, hot, tropic type climates on very poor grazing. Interestingly, here's a spicy heifer over here. It's actually a beautiful animal. I've got it on my list. I don't know if I'm going to be successful. I suspect they're going to go quite expensively. But, oops, ski stuff, sorry. But I'd love it if I could take this heifer home. Anyway, coming back. So, according to Jan Zietsman, this is the only breed, or the second best breed, when it comes to fattening quickly off grass. Second only to the Afrikaner. And that's one of the reasons I'm looking at the Boran, besides the fact, oh, she's spicy, she's just had a calf. Besides the fact that they are indigenous breeds and they're tough and they're hardy and should have good tick resistance and so forth, but they also fatten very quickly at least. Quicker than your Ngunis and quicker than your Tulis in theory. So I want to have a look at that. Eventually the long-term plan is to raise our own animals off grass, and we want something that fattens a little bit quicker. Of course, I need to test the breed and see how well it does by me. But given the sudden growth spurt in popularity for this breed in the last 10-15 years, I've no doubt that these animals should do very well under our conditions. In fact, I've spoken to some of the breeders. As I say, I don't know them very well. Well, I know not much about them. But most of the breeders, or some of the breeders, practice what they call long distance farming. They've got cattle, they see them once or twice a week. Because of the distance, they can't be feeding them production licks and all kind of maintenance licks and things like that. So these animals have proven themselves to be able to look after themselves, to be tough and hardy. And that's why I'm here. And I just want to go around, just hang on, I'm going to pause. So I most certainly think this is a breed that can do very well under our conditions. Now, as I said, I don't know all the breeders. I know Bloodline Boran is Zippo Lamprecht, and he's got a fairly big name within the industry. This is one of his heifers. Beautiful animal, I like her teats. Guys, the Boran is a medium framed cow, or breed, 450, 500 kilos. There are smaller specimens within the breed, and there are larger ones. Cows are typically very feminine. Here you've got a cow. You can see she's fine, and what I like is these gates make it difficult, but you can see her bones, her legs are she's very fine boned, and yet just look at the grass capacity on that gut. All the things we're looking for. Then you come around here. This is also one of Zippo's, and I'm not promoting Zippo, it just happens to be the case. Bulls are short on the leg, very masculine, very stocky, and heavier than what you would think. Now, I have a bit of an experience with Borans. When I was previously employed, the farm that the herd that I managed, I bought 2 Boran bulls. And as I left, the first calves were dropping, and they were really beautiful specimens. Another interesting fact or tidbit, if I remember correctly, genetically speaking, the Boran is the animal or the breed whose genetic composition is the furthest from your European and overseas breeds. So in other words, if you're looking for maximum heterosis and you want to do some crossing, this is exactly the animal to use, because you'll get the maximum heterosis. Let's look at this bull. Man, he's got a gut on him. He is also bloodline Boran, Zipper Lamprecht. I want to see if I can find someone else's animals. I don't just want to show his animals, but yeah, these are beautiful animals. Typical of indigenous breed, short hair coats, tick resistant, heat resistant. Okay, lot number 7, Jabia Borana, Dania Krinstad, heifer, and she's 4 months pregnant. So you can see sleek shiny coat, short hair coat, all of which promotes adaptability to our country and our situations, and also the ability to withstand external parasites. This is a bull, lot number 16, also Jabia Borana, DJ Stradom, nice looking bull, nice masculine head, nice darkening of the neck, good muscling in the neck. Guys, I'm by no means an expert on the breed, but you know what, there are certain traits that are universal, no matter the breed. Femininity, fine bones, feminine head, a thin head on a cow, a nice thin feminine head, and obviously the total opposite on the bulls. Beautiful. Look at that little calf. Calf and cow, lot number 23. Beautiful animals. Now, of course, we know these animals have been prepared for the auction, and rightly so. We as buyers have an expectation. There's a certain expectation with regards to what the animal should look like. If you pay a lot for an animal, you expect it to look a certain way. So they've been prepared for the auction, but even so, not overly prepared. Guys, I'm just going to move around and see if I can find another row of animals. Just hold on. Okay, over here we have some commercial animals. This is obviously not a Boran. I think she was put in to fill the lot. There's 5 animals per lot. And in this specific lot, I think these animals were mated to drought master bulls, if I remember correctly. Now, I suspect it's a stud breeder, so in order to get a quick genetic turnover, I suspect he uses his animals up to a point in his stud, and then when he takes them out, he then breeds them or crosses them to more beefier breeds. What I do like about these animals, and I just want to have a look, they've got a nice slope to the rump, which facilitates calving. But if you look at that one there, they also have very broad rumps and hip bones. These cows don't have calving problems as a rule, or shouldn't have, because they're perfectly put together. Guys, nature selected these animals. Nature selected them. They had to survive under very tough conditions, similar to your Ngunis, similar to your Tulis. So nature selected them. And I nearly want to say, we can't do better than nature. Not when it comes to selecting for survival properties. Anyway, so here's some more beautiful commercial animals, and they are from Hagersdam Boran. They're all pregnant. They're 2020 models, 2020 and 2021, and they're between 6.5 and 8 months pregnant. So also very, very good potential buy. The one thing about the Boran that I must say, they've got a very, very strong herd instinct. In fact, the strongest that I've seen personally. And when we put the Boran bulls to the Simbra cows, it's the quickest I've seen calves get up and run around after birth. So, and that makes sense. If you're born in an environment where things with long teeth and long claws want to catch you and eat you, you need to be able to get up and run around and run away very quickly. So it all makes perfect sense. I'm actually struck by how feminine these animals are and how... I just want to show you. Look at the width of those hips. There to there. And then the pin bones over there are pretty wide. And then you look at the slope of the rump. Unfortunately, these are traits that have been bred out of many other breeds, but they're imperative for an animal to be able to calve easily. And then, of course, gut capacity. Just want to move around and see over there. Lot number 47, another beauty. Anna, crikey, too tall for this thing. Another beautiful red heifer. Offered by Kolsquit Boran. Let me see if I can get a shot. There we are, Kolsquit Boran. Now just quickly, I'm going to show you guys what I look at. I like the fact, and for what it's worth, these guys have got it right, sorry. But if you have a look here, I like to look at the mother, how old she was, 10 years, 8 calves. I don't know if you can see that. Age of first calving 30 months and an intercalve period of 363 days. That's very good. These are the things I look at. I don't look so much at these values over there because it's estimations. And if you have a look on these traits over here, they have accuracies of from 27% to 73%. So these values I see more as an indication rather than absolute. But the number of calves, or the age of the mother and the calves born, as well as intercalving period, well, that's definite. So those are the figures I look at. Beautiful little heifer, nice red color. Over here we have another one by Kolsquit. Smaller, slightly smaller framed heifer, a little bit more hairy, but they do come from Lukhof in the Free State, which is a lot colder than our area. So they might slick off a little bit later. Beautiful teeth on this heifer, very feminine. Lot number 29, also Kolsquit. There they are. I see, it's quite interesting. Some areas there's a lot of different colors or coat patterns on the auctions when you go and see the Borans there, but over here it's mostly red. These breeders have mostly selected for red solid coat patterns. And then of course my personal favorites are on this side. Lot number 18 is a very beautiful, very feminine cow. She's 4 years old. She's got an ICP of 370 days over 2 calves. And she's polled. And she's bred by Palmyra Boran Stoet from Petrusburg. J. Janssen van Vieren. And then of course, it's nice when they give you information as to the father of the cow, if I remember correctly. And this is the bull that was bred to the cow, and therefore the father of that little bull calf. So this is a cow-calf combination. She's a 2021 model, if I remember correctly. Yes, lot number 18. Here's a very, very nice cow. She's slightly larger framed. Very sleek, beautiful sleek coat. I like her teats, I like her udder. Of course, she's not filled with milk, so you're not going to get the full picture. And her mother was 13 years old with 11 calves and an intercalving period of 362 days. So that's pretty good. That's very good. Beautiful. Another cow from them. I actually spoke to the breeder and he said to me, she's got one of the widest rumps he's ever seen. Now, he said to me, of course, he prepared her for the auction, and that's what they do. But she's got one of the widest rumps, and he actually recommended I take a look at her. She wasn't on my list initially. The others were. But that's the thing about making a list. You base it off what you see in the catalogue, and you still need to come on the day and have a look what the animals look like, which is beautiful. And she has a heifer calf as well, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. So most certainly someone or one of there a good option to look at. I'm starting to mumble. And then just over here, once again, that's a very short, stocky bull. It's just a photo, but we were discussing him. And you compare the build of that bull in the photo to this one over here. That's a longer bull from head to tail. That's a shorter bull and should be an earlier maturing bull. And that bull over there was bred to this one over here, lot number 51. Once again, beautiful. Guys, these animals are stunning. There's some really good looking animals, and it's definitely a breed that, well, if I recall, and I'm speaking under correction, I think the highest price ever for a bull in South Africa sold in auction is 8 million, and it was a Boran. I could be corrected, I could be wrong, so I'm speaking under correction. But it's certainly a breed that's gained a lot of popularity, and there must be good reason for that. People don't pay a lot of money for sub-quality animals or a sub-quality breed. Just quickly, she's turned around. Guys, I'm struck by the quality of the udders. Most of these animals have stunning udders, and this is something that the breed is actually well known for, is having good quality udders. Just want to go back. There's a little bull calf. Sien, kyk gou-gou vir my, maar dit lyk soos 'n billetjie. Is dit 'n versie?
Dis een met die oor wat so swel is.
O, is dit een met die seer oogie? Okay. So lyk amper soos 'n billetjie, né? Just want to make sure. Okay, I thought it's a bull calf. Heifer calf, can you believe it? Alright, my mistake. Her condition's so good that she looks so stocky. I thought she was a bull calf. Anyway, guys, so that's it. Hold thumbs, hope I get some. My sons are here. We're hoping to pick up one or two. We don't expect to pick up many. It all depends on what the prices do. Now, I nearly want to say you can't overpay for good genetics, but as a commercial farmer, I do have my limits. I'm not selling pedigree stock, so I do have my limits, but who knows, maybe we're lucky. Anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. Hope you guys are having a good one. I'm feeling fairly chipper. I'm pretty much off the happy pills, although I packed them in, so I'm feeling quite good. And we're going to chat again. Keep well. Cheers.